Bea here. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how we're going to get more reading done. If, like me, one of your favorite hobbies of all time is reading, then I would love to encourage you to get some more reading done. With the modern life activities and all the responsibilities that come with it, and also having a fast-paced lifestyle, reading can fall completely off your list. I get that. I was like that too. However, I became really intentional about making time for reading. If you love something, if you want something back in your life, a hobby, an activity, then you need to prioritize it. Prioritize your reading time.
Keep the book you want to read in a place where it's really accessible and that you can find it every day, next to your bedside table, or make time for it when you actually have lunch at work or on your commute to work. Perhaps you take the train, and that would be good reading then.
There are other times when you might not finish a book. So maybe you've been with this book for a long time and you can never seem to finish it. Ask yourself, is it lack of time that is preventing me from finishing this book? Or could it be that you simply just do not enjoy this book? I find that personally, when I'm reading a book and it doesn't really captivate me, I don't find it interesting, or maybe it's just not, it feels forced. It feels like I need to force myself and push myself to it's just painful. Reading a book shouldn't be painful. If reading a book is painful for you, or it's making it feel like hard work, then obviously you're not going to finish it. Or if you have a book that you really enjoy, then you're going to get so captivated that you will hardly put it down. And that is what I want to encourage you to do. Get really clear about yourself and your personal preference for books. There are different genres of books. There's crime novels, there's thrillers, there's horror, there's chick lit, there's women's fiction, there's short stories, there's fantasy, there's sci-fi, and it's on and on and on. So what is your book that you enjoy most to read? And go to that genre. Having said that, there are times when you might think you know what you like, but perhaps you've never been exposed to other genres. So I would really advise you to just go out there and discover. Pick a few books. Try to ask some friends which books they recommend. Ask someone you admire, what are they reading currently? And try to read the book that they're currently reading. Ask people, what are your favorite books and why? Maybe their answers might prompt you to read the same book, and then you might find that you enjoy it. And once you find that, go and find the books that you enjoy. And there's nothing wrong with trial and error when it comes to books. Sometimes books can surprise us. Sometimes you might find reading a book that you would never think of reading, but you find it so interesting. Like, for example, one of the books that I picked up once was about, it's called Silvers and Spoons, and it's the biography of a woman who, when she wrote the book, she was 90 something, and I don't really like to read biographies generally. However, this book in particular was so fascinating because it told of the life of this wonderful woman who spent her time being in housekeeping. So she was busy with the domestic affairs and taking care of the homes of noble and aristocracy. So for me, it was discovering another world through her. She shared recipes, she shared a little bit about going through world wars as well. She shared a little bit about having her children dying, people passing away, because she lived a really long life. And I feel that we have so much to learn from other people. So this book was particularly fascinating for me. I did lend the book to another friend and she didn't really enjoy it. She liked it, she read it, but it didn't captivate her as much as it did to me. And vice versa. So sometimes you might find that you enjoy a book, but your friend doesn't enjoy it that much. Or a book is a bestseller, but you find it doesn't really interest you. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with finding a book that particularly appeals to you. So what I would really encourage you is to find your book, the books that speak to you, the books that speak to your heart, because these are the books that are for keeps. These are the books that you should have at your bedside table or in your bag and in your living room next to your cozy reading nook. And speaking of reading nooks, I'm going to get in there just now.
Your reading nook is a beautiful sanctuary for you. It's a place where you feel calm. It's a place where you're going to be uninterrupted. A place where you can sit cozily with your feet up or your feet down, snuggled up underneath the blanket, or not, accompanied by a cup of tea or your favorite beverage, going outside in the garden or the park, or reading indoors, wherever it's most cozy for you. That's your reading nook.
If you want to read more, I would strongly advise that you keep your reading also for bedtime. So have your book ready next to your bedside table or on your bed, so that when you climb into bed, just maybe make it really special by adding in a cup of herbal infusion and then sip it nicely while you read your book. There's nothing better than unwinding and getting into fantasies of another land, or reading someone else's musings, and your favorite author, maybe your favorite book, could be also poetry. Try to find something that makes you dream, that makes you feel inspired, and that's going to fill your mind with really lovely ideas and thoughts. Nothing too hectic, so try to avoid business books or strategy books or marketing books at bedtime. Try to avoid studying at bedtime because you do want to unwind. You don't want to feel more stressed or more anxious. You also maybe want to steer clear of horror books. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I used to love horror books when I was much younger, in my teenage years. And then I moved over to something more calming and peaceful, because I realized that the more you fill your mind with lovely, beautiful things, the better you are at managing your anxiety, the better you are to be mindful in life, and also to live in a calmer way where you feel more productive as well. Because if you don't have to deal with these really negative thoughts, then you can concentrate, you can focus that energy into other things, things that bring you joy, things that where you can serve better the people around you, your community, your family, your friends, your partner, your spouse. So I really like, just before going to sleep, to have a really lovely book to read and just enjoy that moment. And of course, you can always make bath time more fun by reading a book in the bath. Grab yourself a lovely cup of tea or your favorite infusion,
light a candle, put in some bath salts, lovely music, and read. Enjoy this pleasure of reading, relish this moment, savor this moment. Even if you have just a few minutes a day, that will make such a difference in your day and in your life. And that's when you can get some reading as well, and some time just for yourself. One tip that you can use as well is if you are in a bath and you don't really want to get your books wet, or you're just worried that it's going to get, it's just not really practical, that's fine. And you can, for example, have audiobooks. So get yourself a membership or buy a book on audio, and you can listen to it while you're in the bath. Really nice as well is podcasts, yeah, you can have your Kindle if you want. There's much more, it's a little bit more practical. Or you can have as well your audiobook and listen to it while you are in the bath. If you're on a getaway, either on holiday or simple weekend away, pack a book along with you. If you don't have any book to read, you can also try the library at the hotel. They always have some nice books, and then you can just browse through, take your pick, and read through over the weekend. I did that once, and I took a book and I finished it over the weekend, which was so lovely, and I put it back on the library so that others can enjoy it. If you do pack a book on a getaway as well with you, and you finish reading it before your stay is over, I would suggest also leaving it at the hotel, because usually they would keep it in their library so that other people can read it, other guests or other travelers. And what a nice way to share books, because I really believe that if you love books, books are meant to be shared, and books are meant to be passed on so that more people can enjoy and take pleasure in it. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up on the YouTube channel, and feel free to subscribe as well. Share it with others who love reading books. Let me know what you're reading currently, because I would love to take a look at it, and maybe I'll find another book that I enjoyed. And now I must get going because I have books to read. Ciao!